Welcome to the fire. Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life. The discomfort that you're feeling is grief. We all feel discomfort. This is dedicated to every person feeling grief. Keep on living, you're gonna see something else. If you feel this, like it. If you love it, the fire lives forever. Long live the fire. Let's go. Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life, where every day is a decision on how you look at your life. You'll never be the same after the storms in your life. You'll be stronger and wiser than ever before in your life. After we lose everything, we'll do anything. If all else perish and somehow we remain. Everything changed after he went away. The old you died daily, but you thought you could stay. I should still continue to be at the end of the day. You gotta suffer to be when things get in your way. My youngest son was only 10 for the COVID-19. Feeling grief every day from missing friends he ain't seen. Last week it came to me, the thought so clear. Sharing a vision for the fire with my sound engineer. I said I hope you and your family are all safe and well. And episode 3's about to be hotter than well. He replied and said no, my father passed away only 2 weeks ago. It's hard and dark times, and only a few days later my grandfather died. From the COVID-19, still feels like he's alive. So upset and feeling sad, but what can I do? Let us pray for their souls while God carries them through. See, he came in contact with the COVID-19 to make sure he gave his father everything he might need. He said his dad was a champion, he never complained. Didn't want his family to worry, and how he was so brave. The rest of my family as well, their hearts weigh a ton. And the worst part of it all is we still can't hug anyone. See, he was rocking with me from the beginning when I made the fire. About my Uncle Chris after his time here expired. It broke my soul to not go home and be with the family. See about my mom, uncles and aunties. Instead I burned the fire, put the smoke in the air to deal with my grief because I couldn't be there. My aunt Dot, bless your heart, sending love over miles. Give anything to sit by your bed and make you smile. To the Taylor family, we'll always know what we share. Rest in peace to Miss Annie, we still needed you here. See, last year, about this time, a week before Christmas, my son Maddox played the championship. The team went the distance, we went to Florida, Naples to be specific. The best players representing from the Northwest Pacific. The head man was Coach Fresh, after games we kicked it. Man, his integrity was more than terrific. Fast forward a year later, just got a text from his team that Coach Fresh lost his battle with the COVID-19. The list goes on of people who suffered the grief. Lost in isolation without any sleep. Grandparents miss their babies. Sons can't get home to see mama one more time, so we pick up the phone. People are forced to deal with whatever you got. Tough decisions every day, whether we like it or not. The discomfort that you're feeling is grief. It doesn't change it, but it reveals you to yourself when things can't get any stranger. How do we help ourselves? Acknowledge the grief. You may be feeling, manage it, and understand what it means. Right now, people are feeling any number of things, but not exactly sure about all the ways the world has changed. It's temporary, but it doesn't always feel that way. Realize things must be different for us all to stay. This is the point at which things change, and the lack of sense of normalcy wrecking our brains. Economic disparity and the loss of connection weighing heavy on us all because the grief is collective. Anticipatory grief is that feeling that we get about what the future holds when we're feeling the threat. Usually, it centers on death, a diagnosis, a loved one we're close to taking last breaths. There's a storm coming, and we know it in our hearts, but we can't see it under attack by our enemies in the dark. Our sense of safe is broken, we never been here before, so these words shall be spoken over things we can't ignore. Grieving losses with scattered pitches, why can't we grow? And the heart still holds on when life says let go. What can individuals do to manage the grief? Understand what you go through outside your belief. There's denial, which we say a lot early on. The virus won't affect us, we can still carry on. There's anger, because we gotta stay home, taking away our activities for being alone. There's bargaining. If I social distance for 2 weeks, everything will be better, right? As far as I can see. There's sadness. We never really know when this ends. And finally, there's accepting that it'll happen again. This is happening. I have to figure out how to proceed. Acceptance, as you might imagine, is where the power breeds. We find control in acceptance. I can wash my hands and keep a safe distance if I can understand. When we're feeling grief, there's that physical pain and the racing of the mind as we swerve in our lanes. How do we make it less intense? Anticipatory grief? It's really anxiety when we feel the disbelief. The mind begins to show us images like parents getting sick. We see the worst scenarios we're not ready to deal with. The mind becomes protective and it's the goal not to forget. The images we want to go away as we run from regret. The goal is to find balance in the things that you're thinking. We all get a little sick as we watch the world keep sinking. Not everyone I love dies, maybe no one else does, because we're all doing what we can, whatever it was. Anticipatory grief is the mind going too. The future to take a view of what happens to you. Calm yourself coming to the present, this will be familiar. When that grief in your heart starts to deal with you. Breathe, realize how you feel, then own it. Nothing you've anticipated has happened in this moment. You're okay, you're ahead of the game if you're not sick. Right as you begin to scream, you're starting to kick. Think about how to let go of what you think you know. How to stop worrying about things you can't control. What is in your control is staying 6 feet away from the negative thoughts in your mind that open the doorways. Everyone will have different levels of fear and grief, and it manifests in different ways beyond belief. Be patient, think about who someone usually is. Who they seem to be in the moment can cost you some years. A troubling aspect of today's pandemic is the open-endedness of it, and we all up in it. This is a temporary state that helps to say it. It's survival. And yes, we will survive. We were troubled before the pandemic began to arrive. Waking up in the morning wondering, dead or alive. The time is here to overprotect, not overreact. We'll find meaning in it. Just keep following me. Don't worry about a single thing when you're under attack. 5-minute fires always got your back. Meaning is the next level of grief, beyond acceptance, when you try to live a life like the scriptures reference. And meaning is what we want. In the darkest hours when memories start to haunt, we find light in those moments that we can't see, but we find all the new ways trying to set ourselves free. We will continue to find meaning even when this is over. The grief is like a quicksand when the emotions take over. When you think about this and still feel overwhelmed, even if you get it wrong, you'll never be condemned. Keep trying. There's something powerful about calling it what it is. Let the emotions come through, regardless of how you feel. Embrace the unfamiliar of life's new design. Feel what's inside of you. Having a hard time? Cried last night. Emotions need the motions of going through the motions, and it's not the last time. The perfect crime would be if I could steal your attention and it got you back on your grind. Recognize the grief for exactly what it is. When you can see it, you can take it for exactly the way it is. We're the first generation to have feelings, about how we should be feeling on the hand that God's dealing. We can and should stop it at the first feeling. The work is to feel your feelings when you ain't winning. Fighting it can't help when the heart is in pain. So let the feelings come through you in an orderly way. I heard a wise man say, if you're going through hell, better keep on going. So I'm posting the bell. We're all under attack, but nobody's a victim. But it's okay, we feel the sickness from all the restrictions. Let yourself feel all the grief, then keep going. It gets better with time to go from faith to knowing. Initially it feels like it'll never go away. Eventually you can live with it in your life every day. We can make plans, but we can never prepare. Stop avoiding it and be present. Start to repair. It's not peaceful, and that's the reason we say a prayer. You might not even be able when it feels too real to bear. There might be pressure from others to just move on, but if you move too fast, the regret lasts long. It makes us uncomfortable, so prepare for the moments. And when people offer you support, take them up on it. It brings out the best and worst in the family. Guilt is a normal part, anger's a normal part. When you're going crazy, decide who you're gonna be. There is no timeline, you can't rush it. You'll grieve in some way forever and you can't touch it. Life moments and milestones will be forever bittersweet. It's messy and confusing, there's no way to make it neat. We all grieve differently, finding comfort in the strange. Things causing confusion in a family under strain. Outbursts of emotions from when you were together. Holidays and birthdays might be hard forever. There's no normal when it comes to grieving. It depends on the way you think and the things you believe in. You never go back to being your old self. The old you is gone and you're taking a step. Even if you're crying for the whole way through, your mental state doesn't matter when you got things to do. You may learn the people supporting you are really not. It's the people you never expected that show up on the spot. Someone said, the darker the night, brighter the stars. The deeper the grief, closer to God.